So today I'm going to be talking about nationalism and 19th century European revolutions for the global test. So, nationalism is a strong devotion to one's country or region that develops with a group of people who share things in common. Nationalism supports the idea of self-determination, which is that people have the right to join together to form their own national government. Nationalism can unite or divide people. Chauvinism is extreme feelings of superiority that fosters intolerance and prejudice. Jingoism is extreme nationalism that may lead to persecution through discrimination, ethnic cleansing, and genocide. European revolutions. The Greeks, supported by Russia, revolted from the Ottoman Empire. At the Battle of Navarino in 1827, combined British, French, and Russian forces defeated the Ottoman navy. Belgium revolted against the Netherlands and won independence in 1830. Poland attempted to rebel from Russia, but was defeated a lot in 1830. Hungary, led by Louis Kossuth, attempted to rebel against Austria, but it failed. The Czechs failed at a revolution against Austria, but they did end up forcing Metternich to resign. So that was an accomplishment, at least. In France, Charles X tried to establish an absolute monarchy, which caused riots, so he fled to England. He was replaced by Louis Philippe, who was a liberal and popular amongst the middle class. The radicals, Clamartin and Blanc, overthrew him in 1848. Louis Napoleon Bonaparte, who was the moderate nephew of Napoleon, won the presidential election after France became a republic, and he declared himself emperor after he was president for a little while, and he ended up bringing stability to France. So Russia was still feudal and absolutist. It wasn't industrialized. Reform efforts failed. For example, Alexander II ended feudalism, but created many more problems in the process, as the serfs and the government owed money to the nobles in order to get the land back from them. Russia lost the Crimean War. They were trying to capture large portions of the Balkans from the Ottoman Empire, but they didn't have enough technology. This symbolized their political and economic institutions were dated, and they didn't have the same technology as other European countries. An example of political disunity that was present in Russia was the Decemberists Revolution in 1825. There was a dispute over succession of Alexander I between his sons, the moderate Constantine and the reactionary Nicholas I, who believed in orthodoxy, autocracy, and nationalism. Alexander was assassinated, wonder how, and Nicholas got the throne. He issued a policy of Russification, which is suppressing indigenous cultures and promoting Russian culture. So the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire was known as the sick man of Europe. Besides the Turks, it included Greeks, Slavs, Arabs, Bulgarians, and Armenians. It was never really centralized due to its size. The Sultan relied on provincial rulers to govern, and they didn't modernize. Muslim leaders, as most religious leaders are, they opposed change and modern ideas. The church and state were combined, and they dealt with warfare. For example, the Crimean War, Greek independence, and the Russo-Turkish War. Another cause of their decline was nationalism. People sought self-determination, and the government oppressed people. One example of this would be the Armenian genocide. So, Austria-Hungary. Hungarians, Germans, Czechs, Italians, Slavs, and Creoles and Poles, Croats and Poles, and Serbs were part of Austria-Hungary. The main reason for their decline was nationalism. Emperor Franz Joseph was forced to divide Austria into Austria-Hungary, so two separate states. They had many conflicts, for example, the Austro-Prussian War. Austria lost many German provinces, and the Italian province of Sardinia. So Italy's unification. I actually see some unification. So there are many causes of the unification of Italy, including Napoleon's conquests, Austrian influence, and nationalism. Italians wanted to regain the glory of the Roman Empire. There are three main leaders of Italian unification: Giuseppe Mazzini was the heart of unification. He organized Young Italy in 1832, and he wrote about unification. Count Camillo di Cavour was the brains of unification. He was the prime minister under King Victor Emmanuel II. And Piedmont/Sardinia was the strongest city-state, and Cavour sought to strengthen it. Italians looked to Sardinia to lead unification because of its liberal constitution. Giuseppe Garibaldi was the sword of unification. He formed the Red Shirts in the Kingdom of Two Sicilies. There are four main steps of Italian unification. So Cavour allied with France and provoked war with Austria, and he ended up gaining Savoy, Lombardy, Modena, and Tuscany. Second, Garibaldi overthrew the government in Two Sicilies and united with Cavour. Third, Venetia was acquired from Austria. Finally, Sardinia acquired the Papal States. So, not the Papal States, as some people have said it. So states by the Pope. Anyway, so German unification. There are four main figures of German unification. Otto von Bismarck was the brains of unification. He was the prime minister of Prussia. He was a junker, or a member of an elite noble class. He believed in realpolitik, which is the politics of reality, or following the nation's best interest. And he practiced power diplomacy. The phrase blood and iron describes his use of the army and diplomacy to accomplish his goals. Kaiser Wilhelm I was the king of Prussia, who helped spread their influence. And Johann Fichte was the heart of unification, and he wrote about unification, and he introduced the pure race theory. Helmuth von Moltke was the sword of unification. He created a dominant and modern Prussian army. There are four main steps of German unification. First, Prussia allied with Austria to declare war on Denmark, and he gained Schleswig. Second, Austria and Prussia went to war over Holstein. Prussia gained all the northern provinces and united Germany for the first time in the German Confederation. Third was the Franco-Prussian War. Prussia convinced southern Catholic provinces to join the Confederation for protection from France during this war. And France was defeated badly, and they lost Alsace and Lorraine. So nationalism all around the world. Nationalism took place all around the world. India was a colony of England. Nationalists in India established the Indian National Congress, and they hoped to get independence. The Muslims in India started the Muslim League, and they were hoping for an independent Muslim state, which they were later given in the form of Pakistan, which is still there today. And let's see, in the Amritsar Massacre, Indians protested against colonialism, and the British decided to kill hundreds in the province. So that was quite the massacre. And in the Sepoy Rebellion, Indians and the British Army rebelled. Duh. And this sparked England to decide to have Parliament govern India instead of the East India Company, which is like a corporation that governed this entire province. So they decided to have it governed by the Parliament instead, due to the Sepoy Rebellion. So Zionism is a Jewish movement for nationalism. They wanted to acquire a nation in Canaan. It was developed by Theodor Herzl in the 1800s as a response to anti-Semitism in Europe. After the Holocaust, it acquired some credibility. The Balkans were controlled by the Ottoman Empire. Russia, France, and Austria sought to acquire land. Greece, Montenegro, Serbia, and Romania, and Bulgaria gained independence. Pan-Slavism is the idea of unity to a common Slavic nation. The Young Turks were a nationalist group that sought to create a modern, powerful nation in Turkey. I guess they did. And Kemal Mustafa Ataturk led the Young Turks to start this nation after World War I. So, I hope that helped everyone, and thanks. Bye.